insurance law, and more sizzling legal topics. Get ready for a lively legal experience. Make your Saturday sweet legal candy on WTAN FM 106.1 and AM 1340.
Caregivers find the support they need on Connecting Caregivers Radio with Linda Burhans, the gal who cares for the caregiver. Heard every Friday from 1 to 2 p.m., Linda and her caring and knowledgeable guests will bring you education, information, and resources, as well as a shoulder for caregivers. That's Connecting Caregivers Radio with Linda Burhans, the gal who cares for the caregiver. You can find Help and Hope every Friday from 1 to 2 p.m. right here on the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Ain't it good?
Hello, this is the one and only Robbie the Shark. I want to welcome you to the new program, All Groovy, man. I just want a bunch of folks in front of my porch. Let's have a Coca-Cola, a sweet tea, or whatever your drink of flavor is, and let's just talk about life and how far we've come on the only 1340 WTAN Tan Talk Radio Network.
It's All Groovy with Robbie the Shark. Tune in Saturday afternoon from 12 to 1. Listen at your own risk.
Hi, this is Paul Malloy, host of Freedom Works, The Paul Malloy Show. I hope you'll join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 10 to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, here on the Tan Talk Radio Network, where we strive to bring you the libertarian perspective on political events of the day. There's no show quite like Freedom Works, with in-depth interviews, our ultimate top 10 list, and so much more. So join us for Freedom Works, The Paul Malloy Show, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 10 to 11 a.m. here on the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Tampa Bay's Tan Talk, entertaining and informative radio for the Sunshine State.
It's time for Be Local Buzz with Devin. Devin is the owner and publisher of Stroll Harbor Bluffs and Be Local Beaches magazines. She's also the founder of Raising Relief Foundation and the host of Be Local Buzz on the Tan Talk Radio Network. Now here's Devin, your community connector.
Happy Thursday, everyone, and welcome to Be Local Buzz with Devin, your community connector, here every Thursday from 4 to 5 on Tan Talk Radio. Happy Thursday, Easter week. Got to check in with Ed. Ed, what's going on? You got your eggs dyed and all that kind of stuff?
God, I don't remember the last time I dyed eggs. Let me tell you the last time I dyed eggs.
Okay.
Use that vinegar stuff.
Right.
I imagine they don't do that today.
I think they do because,
Really?
Ironically, I said to my brother, I said, okay, I'm going to throw this out there. You're going to hate the idea and you're going to say no, but let's just pretend. How about on Easter Sunday, I bring over the eggs and I bring over one of those kits and we pretend to dye eggs like we did when we were kids.
What was it called? Egg Paws or something like that?
Yeah, PAS. Yes, it's still there. It's still out there. Yeah, I was Googling. I haven't dyed eggs in a long time either, but it's still out there. But I got a bunch of baby daddies here, so I'm sure they're dyeing Easter eggs. We can ask them the scoop later on the show. So Easter week, I do want to talk about some great events that are coming up. First of all, next Tuesday night from 5:30 to 7:30, over there at the Turkish Flame in Indian Rocks Beach, there is going to be a very nice neighbors' night out. And Bora also owns Mio's on the grill, and that's on Sand Key. Then you got to check out Central Park Performing Arts Center. Their calendar is filled with events, concerts and plays and comedians. And I did want to do highlights because we're going to both of them. But May 2nd through 11th is Kinky Boots, which is a great Broadway play. Cyndi Lauper. It's just going to be fun. And if you want to go with a bunch of us, we're all going May 10th down there to the Central Park Performing Arts Center. So just grab your tickets on their website. And then for those heavy metal rockers, May 13th is LA Guns. So that's going to be over there at the Central Park Performing Arts Center on May 13th. So I got a great show for you as always. And remember, if you hear any business owner on this show, it's truly the best business owners. So if you ever have a need for their services, this is the place to call them. You can go to Harbor Bluffs, strollharbourbluffs.com. You can look at our magazines or our Be Local Beaches magazines. So our first guest is, I guess this is kind of like the home improvement show. That's what I'm going to call it. I don't know. Home improvement baby daddy show. I didn't know I was going to do that, but we're throwing that in there. So Ed, I'm going to introduce our first guest and business owner. His name is Adam. Do we have a song for him today?
Please the Lord, but you don't really
care for roofing, do ya? And he works on roofs with the steepest pitch. He never falls and he never slips. And on these roofs, he's known as Hella Roofer.
Okay. That's what I have. I have Hella Roofer in the house today on the Be Local Buzz Tan Talk Radio Show. Adam, you know what? I'm so happy to have you on the show today. Thanks so much for joining me. How's it going over there?
Well, it's a pleasure to be here, and I want to say thank you for having me on, and thank you, Ed, for the beautiful intro. Fun fact, never, knock on wood, but have never slipped off of a roof and fell, just like the song said. So,
well, that's good because I do my homework a little bit before the show, and there's 113 roofers that fall off the roof per year. So,
yeah, it's no joke. You know, the insurance for the roofing industry is crazy for a reason.
Well, you're here. You're the best in the industry. That's why you're a part of our network and our magazine. So I would imagine you wouldn't have any casualties like that. But Adam, so what is the name of your company? And basically, what do you specialize in?
Yep. So I am the owner of Roof Source Inc. And my name is Adam Berkey. I'm 29 years old. I've been in the industry for about coming up on 6 years. And the company has been open almost 2 years this August. So super proud, happy that we've been able to get to this far. It's unfortunate to say, but, you know, the hurricanes do help our business. It's not great for everyone else, but it can be good for the business. I'm sad to say that, but it's the truth of it. But we specialize in everything, any kind of roofing, metal roofs, tile roofs, flat roofs, shingle roofs. Yeah, basically anything that has the word roof with it, we can pretty much do it.
Do you know what the first roofs were made out of?
Mud or clay?
Yeah, thatch. Yeah. And then they went into the stone and concrete. Yeah. So very cool. All right. So I have a little trivia for you. I know.
Great.
Ed, I know. I never tell him about this part. I said, no, it's going to be easy questions. I'm not going to ask you anything you don't already know. And here I am. I stump my guests every week. Don't worry if you don't know it, because no one ever gets it. What are the 5 functions of roofs?
The 5 functions of roofs.
I believe in you.
Yeah. To protect the home.
Yeah, protection. That's right. Protection. Ding, ding, ding. Okay, you got 4 down. 4 more to go.
Wasn't this fun? Putting me on the spot for this.
Okay.
I'll say
saving on that Duke. Duke what?
Energy.
Yes, energy efficient.
Protection.
Yeah. Yes, protection. Waterproofing. Oh my God,
Thanks
they're all coming.
assist.
Lewis, you're next.
Oh, I was going to say shedding water, actually.
Water damage. Aesthetics, how about just that it looks nice for the house, right? It's one of the biggest pieces of the house. And how about just the structural? Yeah. So those are the 5. Yes, there we go. So, Adam, first of all, congratulations. If you're just tuning in, it's Be Local Buzz. I got Adam here, the owner of Roof Source, and we're talking about roofing, of course. And you mentioned the hurricane, and I'm actually glad you did, because we are really close to that hurricane preparedness. And roofing, getting that prepared is so important before our hurricane season. What can you tell our listeners and viewers?
Yeah, you know, when it comes to hurricanes, being proactive instead of reactive is always going to be the best course of action. You know, there's a lot of fear that goes on before, during, and right after a hurricane. And when people act on fear, a lot of times, you know, they can get taken advantage of by people that are looking to make a buck. And so I'd say just going into hurricane season, you know, find people you trust is the biggest thing. When hurricanes come through here, a lot of people just see dollar signs and they just come in and want to scoop up as many jobs as they can. And, you know, one of the biggest things is after a hurricane, when you have someone come out and they're like, hey, we're going to tarp your roof and we're going to get you taken care of. Just sign the dotted line here and you don't have to worry about anything. Do some due diligence before you sign anything, or whoever you choose, because people will sign out of fear, and then a couple of weeks go by and they're under a contract that they have no idea what it is. And they can a lot of people, you the roofing industry has a bad rap for that kind of stuff. Florida does a decent job at catching some of the corruption that happens. Every year you'll see the signs and people getting fined for unlicensed activity and things of that nature. But I would say if it's hurricane season's coming up and your roof is in decent shape or not, get it inspected. Just have, get the peace of mind to know where you sit at. Can you make it through this hurricane season or not? And then just have someone you trust.
Right.
Do your due diligence.
And we're talking about trusted business partners. Again, StrollHarborBluffs.com is our website. Those are our business partners from our Be Local and our Stroll magazines, all on there. So those are the people that you're going to want to call first. Even if you're collecting estimates, some people get 3 estimates, whatever, definitely use ours as a first one. So how did the name come about? You've been in business 2 years. You just had a baby a couple months ago. Congratulations. And who's the real owner of the business here? Let's talk about your mascot, and it's a family-owned business, right?
Archie.
Archie. We got to talk about Archie.
Archie, the roof pup. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. So, goodness gracious. So, Roof Source is actually, I can credit my father for that. So, he has been in the roofing industry for a couple decades. When I was a little kid, that was one of the first things I did was some demolition work for him. And he came up with the name Roof Source Inc. So I was, as I got older, I wanted to be my own man. I wanted to do my own thing. And I started working with him, but was very reluctant. And then we started working very well together. And that was how he pretty much taught me everything I knew for this. And then as time went on, we decided to start our own business. I got my own license. We got everything rolling. And, it's been 2 years. It's been a crazy ride. It's been fun. It's been lows and highs and everything in between. Completely worth it in every way. I've grown so much as a person, but.
Oh yeah. Being an entrepreneur is a tough job for sure. So am I safe to say that we're talking to Roof Source Inc. and they are a local family owned father-son?
Yep.
That's so incredible. I love it. So if someone needs a new roof, tell me how they get in contact with you. And second of all, what is the process?
Yeah. So there's multiple ways. You can, the best way is probably to Google us, go to roofsourceinc.com, and you can actually be prompted from our website. And you're going to enter in your own address without the hassle of talking to a salesperson. We are not a pushy sales company at all. Very easygoing. You can really go on there, put your measurements in. You don't have to put any other info in. We're not going to come after your name or come talk to you afterwards. And you can really get your own price and see we're very upfront with our pricing. So you can go on our website, get the pricing from us right away. And if you decide to use our services, there's a prompt where you can reach out to us, set up a time to come look at the roof and check everything out. Otherwise, you can call our main line. And I will go ahead and give the company a quick plug and put our phone number
job.
out
He can
there.
do that later.
Yeah.
No kidding. Go ahead.
So I was going to ask, is that like a repair estimator built into your website?
Pretty much, yeah. So it's a new process that we're rolling out, and a lot of it's we're trying to flirt with the AI business and see how we can do with it. And
I like that. I want to flirt with the AI business. That's a very cool way to say that. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I'm stealing it.
Yep. So yeah, you go on there and you just put your info in, and it'll basically pull your measurements from a bunch of different ways, and it'll give you an approximate roof price. And then you can go in there and filter out some of the stuff that you do or don't have for your roof, or skylights, chimneys, and a couple other variations that can affect the price. And you can get a pretty good ballpark of what your roof would cost. And if you like the price, you guys can reach out to us at any time, and then we can come inspect the roof, see exactly what you got going on, and help you out in any way we can.
So what if you're someone that doesn't really like all this technology? They don't want AI. They don't want to just see a price. Maybe they want to talk to you. Maybe it's not the whole roof that needs to be done. Maybe they just don't know. Do you have someone that they can just call, or is there
Yeah, you can call me directly.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
What's the number there?
Yeah. So this is funny. I grew up in Minnesota. I've had the same phone number since I was in about 5th grade. And so I still have a Minnesota area code, but it's 651-247-4841. Again, that's 651-247-4841. I can talk roofs all day. And I always tell people, even if you decide not to go with me, I'll always answer any of your questions and as honest and the best way that I can, just to help the homeowner out. I really feel the most part of my job is just explaining information rather than selling. I'm just talking to people about what I know and then what they do with that information, as long as they're making the best decision for themselves and I'm putting my best foot forward, I can live with whatever results happen after that.
I love it. And you hear it. This is why Roof Source Inc. is with Stroll Harbor Bluffs and Be Local Beaches magazines and network because of their customer service, because they care. I always say most experienced and the people that really care, not only about their customer, but other business owners and the community. So thank you very much. And by the way, I know coming up, but happy Father's Day, your first Father's Day.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Well, quick side note, sorry, not to cut you off.
Go. No, cut me off. It's okay.
So our office administrator, Hannah, she is awesome. She does all the permitting, everything in the office for us. She just had a baby on Hurricane Milton. I think the day of Hurricane Milton, she had her first baby. I had my first baby on January 16th, and Chris next to me is having his first kid.
It's due today, so it could be any moment
I wish
now.
we had like a baby music. Is this? I don't know. Maybe Ed, can you look up for like baby music? Like they do in the hospital.
Going on at the office. Yeah.
What are you having? A girl or boy?
She's going to be a girl. Baby Faye, middle name Denise, after my grandma.
Oh
nice.
My God! I hope she doesn't have it like in the next 40 minutes. That would be.
I hope
that would be
not.
a first, though. I don't know. It'd be kind of cool. So it's Be Local Buzz with Devin here every Thursday from 4 to 5 with Ed on Tan Talk Radio. Let's wave to our YouTubers. Forgot about it. I didn't really forget about you.
Hey, everyone.
It's all too familiar.
Just to get you in the loop.
Oh, I'm ready. I'm excited. We've been waiting, 9 months for this.
Yeah.
And it's kind of nice to kind of have a casual office. So Hannah brings her kid in, Adam brings his kid in, and Archie. Hannah's kid really likes to watch Mickey Mouse, which the big TV screen's right by my desk. So he gets to sit on my desk with me while he watches Mickey Mouse. So it's pretty cool.
Okay. So next time you got the whole family and the next generation of Roof Source Inc. together. Please take a picture. I want to put that in the magazine.
Yeah, we can do that.
I mean, that is just so cool, right? I love it. Talk about a great family environment. So, Adam, I do have one other question for you. Now, what if someone already got an estimate and they just kind of they didn't feel comfortable, or just for, they just want to see what you have to say about it. Do you actually come over and do your thing and look at the estimate that they got from maybe someone else and tell them what your thoughts are? Because you're so honest about it. If it's good, you're going to say it's good. If it's off, you're going to tell them that too, correct?
Yep, 100%. And it's whatever the homeowner is comfortable with. If they feel comfortable enough to show me the estimate, which is always I would prefer it because I can compare apples to apples. You might have one price for a roof, $10,000, and you've got another roofing company coming in at $20,000.
Right.
There's a lot of variations. The one company with $20,000, they might just be charging out the door, or they, might have other materials in there that justified for that price. So you really never know what you're competing against unless you can compare apples to apples. But if, like I said, if the homeowner is comfortable with it, I'll look at it and I'll tell them, hey, it's a good price. Just make sure you do your due diligence with that company. And if you feel comfortable with that, I would just go with whatever you feel comfortable with. The last thing I want to do is work with a homeowner that doesn't feel comfortable working with me, because those situations very rarely go well.
Right. So quick story on how Be Local Beaches in Greater Clearwater and Stroll, why I'm so picky about who I let into the network. When we were first moving here, we didn't have this beautiful new resident resource guide show up at our house. And of course, you don't have any friends, so you don't have anyone to ask. So all you can do is Google. And the first place we went to, of course, is we wanted to fix up our house. So it was the trades industry. It was a nightmare. So if you're a new resident, please beware. I'm serious. Check our Be Local Beaches in Greater Clearwater advertisers first, our business partners, because they really are the best, because there's a lot of sketchy businesses out there. People that don't answer their phone, people that, aren't true to their estimate, people that are disheveled. They come into your house, they make a mess. I mean, there's so many things that go on with not really, like you said, checking out who you are and feeling comfortable with them. That's what I'm saying. There were people showing up at our house and I was like, Mark, I don't care what their price is or their experience. Don't let them in. They just put a cigarette butt in our front lawn. And if you're not here, I'm certainly not going to feel comfortable being in the house with that person. I didn't even have to meet them. So, and then the aftercare. Okay, so there's another thing. That's another thing that I really look for. When I was talking to you, I asked you about that, right? There's nothing like getting the job done and then all of a sudden having a hiccup with whatever, maybe a month later or whatever, and then all of a sudden they ghost you. They don't return your phone calls. Oh, I got their money. I'm not calling them. They must have a problem. I'm ghosting them. Delete. So the aftercare is also so important. So can you just talk briefly about that, and then we're going to get on to our next guest.
Yep. So one thing homeowners always remember is how you leave their place, regardless of if everything went smooth up to the point you finish and then you leave and they're finding nails for the next week, they're not going to be happy with you. So I always come in after the job, do a final walkthrough with the homeowner, and then we provide a 10-year labor warranty.
I love that.
Yep.
Both things I love.
Both things you love. And I always have to put this disclaimer, it's tough. You can't for hurricanes, or you can't put warranties on those. You get 150 mile per hour winds. There's nothing that we can do for that.
And neither can insurance companies, we learned, right?
But outside of that, you've got a leak, you just call me, and it's our reputation. Our business is mainly off referrals, so we just always want to make sure you're happy at the end of the day, and we'll get you taken care of.
And the cleanup is important because it's dangerous to leave nails around the house, especially if you do have a 3-month-old puppy that everything's a toy, everything's in the mouth. Okay, Adam from Roof Source Inc., thank you so much for being on here. We'll get back to you in a moment, but I have another guest. Let's talk to Lewis. Do we have a song for him?
Yo, my name is Dirk, here to make it clear. Home inspections, man, that's my career. I'm all about buyers, sellers, and more, helping folks understand what they're looking for. Inspecting homes, it's a passion of mine. Every little detail, I'm on the line. From the roof to the floor, I'm on the case, making sure everything has its right place.
All right.
Home inspections, that's what I
such
do.
a cool rap. I could totally listen to the whole thing, but I won't. But I mean, that's a pretty cool song, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get a copy of that.
Yeah, exactly. So welcome to Be Local Buzz with Devin. And Lewis, you really have to be the jack of all trades to be, really. I started thinking about what you really have to know. So while I'm saying all this stuff, tell everyone what you do and what's the name of your company?
Right. So I'm a home inspector. I'm a certified master home inspector at Tampa Property Inspections. I am the owner, operator, marketing guy, do it all. So it's been a lot of fun, but home inspectors are essentially the doctors for your house.
I love that. Do you love that analogy? I told you to wait for it. Wait for it. Okay. So, the doctors for the house.
Yeah. So we go in there, we take a look at the conditions of the home, everything that's going on, kind of a second, third party, unbiased opinion. We're not getting anything out of it. We don't make any money if you sell the house or if you're buying the house or not. So it's a great way to see what the current conditions are and to make an assessment and see what you can do to improve the home.
I love that. I love that. It's like a doctor's assessment, right? Yeah. You're going in there for your checkup. And all of a sudden they find, oh, you got high blood pressure. Oh, you got this. Oh, you got cracks in your ceiling. Oops, you got this. You got this. I just love that analogy. So I can't let Adam have a trivia question and not let you have one. But I do have a fun fact, which I want to know if this ever happened.
Okay.
Did you know home inspecting often leads to unexpected discoveries like hidden rooms or antique items?
Oh, yeah.
He says. How cool is that? Okay. So one thing I do want to hear is the scoop. So tell me if you found any hidden rooms or antique items.
Oh, yeah. There's a couple homes where I've been to where it was a listing situation, and they're like, you can see them kind of walking around and like kind of excited to see what I would find. And here I am going through this bookshelf area, this like a nice little master closet. And I'm like looking on the floor and I'm like, see these little scrape marks. I'm like, well, that seems indicative of something kind of movement there. And lo and behold, the whole bookshelf moves open and they have this whole secret room. It's like an additional kind of closet space. It was amazing.
Oh my God. So like you see in the movies.
Yeah.
Did they know it was there?
I think the homeowners knew it was there. The buyers did not. So.
Oh, that's pretty cool, huh?
So a nice little selling point for them.
Exactly. Wow, that's pretty cool. And then how about any hidden antiques? What was in that room? Anything?
That room, they had mostly kind of clothing, older style things, not really antiques. Okay. I haven't really found anything like that. I have been in one house where they had a bunch of paintings in the attic space.
Oh.
Homeowners had never been up there, so they didn't realize that they had all these kind of built up toys.
Wow.
Although there are some creepy ones where you get in there and you have that doll and sitting in the corner staring at you from the dark. So.
Another one like the movies, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. All right. So this is Be Local Buzz. We got Lewis over here. What's the name of your company?
Tampa Property Inspections.
All right. And what's the biggest red flag in a home inspection? This is a little trivia.
So we're not structural engineers, but anytime you have structural movement,
yes,
we look for displacement, large cracks. Stucco cracks are normal; it's settling, but we do point out anything that could be of concern and make sure we, pass that along, kind of like a doctor. You get a referral to your specialist.
I love this analogy. Okay. So yes, structural issues was number 1. Number 2 was roofing.
Mm-hmm.
And number 3 is plumbing and electric. Chris is saying he knew that. Yeah. All right. So what can you tell someone right now who needs your work, who needs you? Hurricane season's coming up. So you don't have to be buying or selling a home, right?
Correct.
You could just be getting a checkup.
All
right. So talk to the homeowners out there that think that having a home inspection is truly just because you're buying or selling a home.
So if you're buying or selling, it's great because it kind of gives you a condition of how the home's going and things like that. But if you're in the home, there's a lot of homeowners that get busy with life. They've been working all the time. They've been lacking on maintenance, or, no one really taught them how to maintain the house. They've been living in apartments their whole life.
Mm-hmm.
The homeowner can hire an inspector. We'll go through and check everything and say, hey, these are maintenance items, homeowner related. Here are things that, may lead to something bigger if you don't take care of them and things like that. So really anyone can do it, especially if you don't maintain the house all the time, or you have contractors coming through that are doing work and you want to get a double check and see if everything's looking good.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, repeat that, because a lot of people are obviously redoing their houses because of the hurricane situation.
Correct.
Or not only that, it's not even the hurricane. People move to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
They want to make the house a home. I don't even care if it's key ready, right? There is someone that's going to, oh, this is beautiful floor. It's brand new, but it's not the color I want. And the same thing with kitchen and the cabinets. Oh, wow, I love these. Yeah, it's nice that they put these brand new brown cupboards in there, but I really want white. So it happens all the time. Key ready means nothing, right? So you'd get in there and help them out with that.
Correct. So, the way I look at it is everyone has a house. Not everyone has a home. You have to kind of make modifications and make it your own to really give it that home feel. I was going to go back to what Adam and Chris were saying earlier about getting a second opinion on the roof. It really comes in handy. You can have a home inspector come in. He's not going to be tied to the roof whether or not you need a new one. I can look at it and say, hey, you have damage here and here. You have a leak. And then from there, refer you to a roofer if you need it.
And that's what I was just thinking about. Energy costs are going up 18% a year. At least at a minimum, right? My no-brainer is get solar. Okay. We live in Florida. It's 360 days a year. It's full sunshine. Why wouldn't you get solar? To me, that's a no-brainer. However, what if someone wanted to get their home to see if the energy efficiency? So instead of calling your AC person or your roofer and this person and this person and your attic person and your, I don't know, what's all that? Insulator. Yeah. They could just call you. You're like the one-stop shop.
Right. I'm going to take a look at everything, top to bottom. So even if there's a crawl space, I know I'm a little big. You guys online will probably see me, but I work my way in there.
Okay.
But
So that actually is a great idea. If your house is running high and your electric bills are going up and you want to know if you can make it more energy efficient, call Lewis. What's your phone number, by the way?
732-207-0799. Something else it turned out we have in common with Chris and Adam. I've had my phone since fifth grade. Same number the whole time. People are always asking me about that area code. I'm from Jersey originally, so I try to keep it up.
What's up with fifth graders getting phones?
It was actually fourth grade for me. I just didn't want to.
Oh, he got me beat by a year.
What's up with that?
I was spoiled.
Oh my God. All right. Fifth graders, fourth grade. How old are you when you're in fifth grade? I'm on a little tangent, but
10, 12, somewhere.
10, 12. Okay. Getting cell phones. All right. Okay. Let's just ride that wave. So you guys you have 9 years almost to get yours.
I'm a little older. Cell phones didn't exist yet when I was in fifth grade.
Right. Exactly. We were using pigeons.
We had
to get
pagers.
communication.
Owls.
Yeah, owls.
The cups with the string in them.
Signals.
Yeah, cups with the string. Exactly. All right. So we got Lewis, a home inspector, Tampa Home Inspections. Yes?
Yes.
We got Roof Source Inc. Yes? Okay. And if you have any questions, which I know I always do this late in the show, but if you have any questions and you want to ask any of our guest questions or myself or even Ed, you could call 727-441-3000. We are here till 5:00. If you're just getting in your car or in your office and you're just tuning in, you're like, darn, I missed the beginning of that show. You don't have to worry about that. This is live on YouTube. So you can always go back and watch our show. It's Tan Talk Radio Network, YouTube, and it's Be Local Buzz with Devin. You can watch this show and any of our other shows. So right now we're going to get back to Lewis, the home inspection, who says that a home inspection is like getting an exam at your doctor's office, which when you said that to me, it was brilliant. That's brilliant. So what can you tell our listeners and our viewers, maybe people that, same thing, I'm going to throw it out there. Is there anything you can do proactively to help your home?
Right. So one of the main things that we always look out for as home inspectors is to move water away from the home. Contrary to some belief, concrete is not waterproof. Even if you have a block home, standing water can eventually work its way through that block. So you want to build up the grading around the house, make sure your gutters are in good condition, make sure they're clear so you don't have any debris buildup that's going to cause that water to go up into the fascia, things like that. If you get a home inspection, you'll be able to check the flashing, check to see if there's any kind of lifting shingles or damage or granule loss. Those granules, they don't seem all that important. They have a huge curb appeal, but they protect the roof from UV damage. So
what's granule?
So the little rocks that are on your shingles, essentially.
Oh, okay.
It looks like gravel, super tiny. If it builds up in the gutters or in your driveways, it looks like sand. If you have something like that constantly coming off the roof, unless it's new, it's aged, or it's just recently had some hail damage and the granules starting to come off. You don't want that. It's going to wear down the roof pretty fast. The UV, the sun is going to beat up on the roof.
Are you reading my cheat notes? Because that's one of his trick questions.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, sorry.
And I'm pointing to Chris now, but Ed just told me that we have a caller. Okay. All right. Jacob, welcome to Be Local Buzz with Devin. Thanks for calling in. What can we do for you today?
Hey there. Thanks for having me. I'm calling in from Pennsylvania.
Oh.
Hey. I saw that Lewis was coming on to the show, and I had to call in. I met him 3 years ago when we were working at an event together.
Oh, cool.
And I just want to say he's a really great guy, and I've been watching his home improvements online, and they're pretty inspiring, and some of the stuff I'm doing here in Pennsylvania.
Wow.
Well, hey, man, I really appreciate the call. We were just talking earlier today.
Jacob.
Yeah, we were.
That's awesome.
I have a joke for you.
Okay, go for it. It has to be clean because I have the producer looking at me right now. Director.
It's clean.
Okay.
So, what did the dog say when he climbed on the house?
I'm gonna have to turn it over to Adam, who has the dog.
Roof.
Yep, that's right.
Because Chris is practicing his dad jokes, and
there you go. Your first
he's
dad
having
joke.
a baby today, so he's practicing his bad dad jokes, and that was.
Oh wow! Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that's all. I hope you have a good day.
Jacob, thanks for calling in. It's a pleasure. Please tune in and listen to us more often. I appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks for the support, Jacob.
Awesome.
Yep, you're welcome.
Awesome. Okay. Very cool. All right. So back to Lewis over here on Be Local Buzz. He's the Tampa home inspection. And we're talking about how getting your home inspected does not mean just because you're selling or buying a house. It is something that you can do to get a checkup. He's actually the one-stop shop if you even wanted to do, like I said, an efficiency checklist. So what else do you want to say to our viewers and our listeners right now?
So as far as efficiency goes,
And whatever, you can talk about whatever you want.
Whatever.
When I don't ask a specific question, I say something like that. Everyone goes like, "Oh, I don't know."
Yeah, I know. I'm drawing blanks here. I would like to say to the efficiency because it helps everybody.
Yeah.
Your insulation in the attic space is a huge help. But if your insulation is covering up the soffits or blocking that ventilation, that heat can also wear down on the roof and reduce the whole life expectancy. We're all about saving money. We don't need to be spending more than we need to. Roofs aren't cheap. Inspections aren't that cheap either. But if you maintain the ventilation, your insulation, all of that's going to help with your energy efficiency and your overall maintenance costs.
Okay. So do you have any kind of like a plan? Like if someone does this every year, every 2 years, whatever, do you have any kind of like plan with them? What am I talking, like a frequent flyer? I don't know what I'm trying to say, but you know what I'm trying to say, right?
Right. Yeah. I don't have like a frequent flyer program going on, but kind of like going to your doctor. If you do it once a year, every couple of years, or after any kind of major storm or event, that's really the best time to do it.
Okay.
As far as like AC goes, again, for efficiency, spring and fall, before the major season changes, to make sure everything's working so you're not out of air when you need it, it's also really good.
So let me ask you about this. Is this true? I don't even know if you know the answer to this, but you just got me on another tangent. Is it true? Like, just say I have my house at 72 degrees, but I'm going to go out of the house for, let's say, 5 hours. Should I keep it at the 72 or should I bump it up to like 75? Is that even saving any energy, or is it making harder to get back to 72 when I finally do come in and turn it down?
So if you keep it at 72 and you have like a high efficiency system, it's kind of like putting your system on cruise control. It's going to do its best to maintain that speed and kind of go up and down as needed. If it goes up too high and then you have to bring it back down, it's just going to work harder to bring it into that comfortable range. And then you're going to come home and turn it down. You have to wait for it to get into that range, or you're going to be uncomfortable for a little bit.
So it's better to just keep it.
Typically, it's better to just keep it there.
Okay.
And especially if you're going on vacation for a long period of time. Some people set it, 80, 85. They just don't want it to run. Well, Florida is home to humidity. You don't want humidity building up in the house. That's how you get mold and all kinds of things. So, just maintain it. 76, 72 is really the best. 72 is really good for preventing mold and other diseases, viruses, things like that.
Okay.
To keep the humidity down.
All right. Very good. And one more time before we're going to leave. I actually had a trick question for you.
Trick question.
How many, I got them on my sleeve here, Adam. How many homes actually pass inspections on the first try?
On the first try?
That's a good one.
Ooh. You're far like a 4-point inspection?
Oh, no. Oh, see? He's asking a question with the question. Isn't that, what is that called?
Deflection.
Deflection, for sure. Well, from my personal experience, I'd say maybe 3/4 will pass on the first go.
30%.
That's
30% pass on the first. So, well, if you want to pass, call Lewis. No, okay. All right.
I had a question.
Yeah.
For Inspector and some of the roofers.
Hey.
Solar panels, beneficial to roofs or not?
Because it really depends on who you have install.
Well, I mean, absorbing the heat, not the direct roof itself, but the panels absorbing the heat, and do they tend to leak more?
Yeah, I mean, when you have the solar panels covering the shingles, they're not going to take the direct sunlight. But kind of what Lewis was alluding to, the ventilation and insulation is going to be a bigger factor to the longevity of your roof. But it's never a good idea to put holes in your roof, just to be honest with you. But getting the solar panels, like Chris had said, if installed properly in a
because I noticed some of the expensive homes, not one solar panel.
Yep.
Not one.
Are you saying I live in a cheap home?
No. I'm just saying in certain areas, where you don't see one solar panel.
At the same time, it's also curb appeal. Some people
right. I
are
understand
on there
that.
for
Yeah. I understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of homeowners associations that won't allow solar panels for that reason. So maybe that's what you're thinking when you're driving through real nice neighborhoods. If none of them have solar panels, that's probably an HOA requirement that doesn't allow it.
Oh, we put ours in the back.
Yep.
Yeah, in the back of the house. All right, so good questions. I'm an advocate. I agree. Don't put holes in your roof, but I am an advocate because it really did save on our energy bill. It really is. Like I said, I think it's a no-brainer if you live in Florida. Now, if I stayed in Rhode Island and we have like 4 days of sunshine, I probably wouldn't think that solar was such a great idea. But here I do.
Yep, I would agree. I think for the right home, solar panels can be a no-brainer. As long as you've got a newer roof, you don't want to be putting solar panels on a 20-year-old roof.
Right,
It's
of
going
course.
to
I don't
cost
think
a
you
lot of money.
can you?
I mean, I've seen it happen.
Okay. All right. So those are untrusting people that are doing that. Okay. So if you want solar, you got to look into Stroll Harbor Bluffs and Be Local Beaches because we got great solar people. All right. Great question. But if your husband is like mine, who leaves every TV on, every light on, the thermostat at like 68 to 70 when doesn't think anything, with the windows open, solar is definitely the way to go. Okay, I'm just going to drop that.
I think usually if your electric bill's around $350 or more every month, if you have a pool that you got to keep warm, any kind of thing like that, around $300, $350, it's worth taking a look at, definitely.
Yeah,
but like Adam had said, I do see it all the time. There's certain solar companies that'll sell reinstallation of the solar panels when you get a new roof. They'll put solar panels on a 12, 15-year-old roof. And then when it comes time to redo your roof 3-4 years later, they're nowhere to be found or they're gone out of business. Right. So you got to be really careful about things. I would almost always recommend your roof to be 5 years old or they're gone out of business. Right. So you got to be really careful about things. I would almost always recommend your roof to be 5 years or less if you're going to get solar panels on it.
Okay. So Louis, one more time, shout out, name of your company and how does someone find you?
Tampa Property Inspections. You can call me at 732-207-0799 or just visit my website at tampapropertyinspections.com.
And soon to come, you can find them on strollharborbluffs.com and in our magazine. So last but not least, the dad who is going to be a father possibly today, or if she goes into labor for a long time, it would be tomorrow. We got Chris on the show, and he's also with Roof Source Inc. And we got a song for him. Go ahead.
We are roofers. Son of a guy that we roof all the time.
Awesome.
It's okay. Right. It's where we get.
Son of a guy that we roof all the time.
Awesome.
It's okay. Right. It's where we get a delay.
It's okay. We got it. We are roofers, right?
Yes, we are.
I used to date. When I just said that, it made me think of something in my old life, like in my 20s. I used to date a guy. His name was Dave, but I knew so many Daves. So he had a roofing company. All of a sudden, everyone called him roofer. No one knew his name was Dave anymore. So when you just said that, it made me think of that. Sorry to go off on that tangent. But anyways, welcome and congratulations. Thanks for being on the show today.
Thanks, Devin. Thanks for having us on here.
Absolutely. So what exactly is your role in Roof Source Inc. and how did you guys come together?
Well, I guess I'm the marketing manager. I run our social media. If you want to check us out on Facebook, Roof Source Inc. on Facebook, we have an Instagram. You can see all sorts of videos, pictures of jobs that we've done. I've got a couple of videos up there pretty much 2 or 3, 4 or 5 times a week, depending on how many jobs we have going on. I'll make an update about what we actually have going on and the neighborhoods, take pictures, things like that. I run our Facebook ads. I work on our website. I do a little bit of everything. If the sales guys get too busy, I go out there. If there's trees over a roof and they need somebody to measure it by hand, I'm the old dinosaur that knows how to do that. So they send me out there. I've been measuring roofs since before satellite measurements existed. So it's kind of nice.
He looks like the youngest one in the room.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, right?
He looks great. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. I never ask people their age or weight, but man, whatever you're saying, I'm not sure I believe it. So you're not going to get off the hook. Okay. You got to have a little trivia.
All right.
All right. What are the most common types of roof damage? And this is easy because I even got a couple of them. Some of them don't even pertain to Florida, but you got to say it because it's part
you got wind damage.
Yeah.
That's Florida. That's probably number one.
Yeah. Hail is number one.
Hail damage is number one where we're from up in Minnesota. We get big hail up there. I'd also say you'll end up with blistering, usually due to inadequate ventilation, like Lewis was talking about. What else would there be? Foot traffic, common after people get solar panels installed for dragging the solar panels up the roof.
Yeah, all right. All right. Now I'm gonna gong. There's no foot traffic on a roof. Okay, I'm just saying.
You'd be surprised.
All right. Well, that's not on the thing. But you did say something with that you're the dinosaur in getting tree limbs.
Tree trap. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
Water, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And then what are we talking about? We have 360 days a year.
Sun.
Yeah.
Yep.
UV
exposure, just overexposure.
Heat damage. I would imagine that would be huge, just like it is on our cars, right? Whew. All right. So why you? Like, why your company? Like, what makes you different? I know Adam said a lot, but there's some people that are just tuning in. So they don't know about the great customer service that you provide. So go ahead, tell them.
Yeah, I mean, I've worked in the roofing industry since I was 18, so almost 20 years now. I've worked for 7 different companies. And, I met Adam 5 years ago. We became our own company here just because he takes really good care of my customers. If there's any kind of complaints, he fixes it. We're not going to leave you and not answer the phones again. We're local to this community. If we do you wrong, we're probably going to run into you at public. So we actually really care, Yeah, they do a really good job. And that leads into more business for us. If you treat somebody right, then they're going to tell your parents and their friends or family members about it. And, I want to work somewhere that we do the right thing. And, that's not always easy to find.
Right. It goes back to, now I'm going to be a dinosaur because I was brought up with the golden rule. And I bet you there's people out there that don't even know what the golden rule is. Treat others the way you want to be treated.
Yes.
Exactly. And we're all here in our community to do the best thing we can. But there's a lot of sketchy business owners out there. Sorry, they're not in my immediate circle, but there certainly are. So again, if you're looking for any types of business, strollharborbluffs.com, go to our website. You can see all our businesses. So you're going to be a father. It's a local family-owned company.
Yep.
Now tell them what you told us about. This is how family it is. This is how much you care about not only people, but also your employees. And that's very important. You have to care about your staff. There's nothing worse than going into an environment and seeing whether a manager, business owner, whoever, yelling at someone, because if they're going to treat their employees like that, what the heck are they going to say to their customers, right? So talk about the family-run business.
Well, I mean, it's 2 generations of roofing. That's what I always say in our marketing. You got Adam's dad and Adam. I mean, it's a really close group of people. We all have kids. Adam brings his kid and his dog, Archie. They hang out at the office. Hannah's got a kid. And in my office is the big screen TV. So every once in a while I get to hang out with Hurricane Hudson, who was born on the day of the hurricane. That's Hannah's kid. And we sit and we watch Mickey Mouse together. So it's kind of exciting.
That's very cool.
I mean, a good example of it is when they found out we were having a kid, they threw us a baby shower. I've never worked for a company before that threw people baby showers.
That's amazing. No,
we
that's
got everything we
truly
needed
amazing.
for our kid, almost pretty much from that baby shower. It's pretty neat.
So what can you say out there, again, to our listeners and viewers about getting the right person to do your job, because there's so many scammers out there? What can you tell them to be cautious of, and what can you tell them to look for?
Well, I mean, Florida makes it pretty easy to look people up on sunbiz.org. You can go right onto Sunbiz, and I see it all the time in the neighborhood community groups on Facebook. It takes 5 minutes to go on Sunbiz and see what kind of license standing they're in. You want to check their insurance. A legitimate business should be able to show you a certificate of insurance that's current. A lot of times I've seen businesses that say they're insured, but they never actually, if you ask them for the insurance paperwork, they're not going to pull it up. Also, we have no problem if you want a couple of our references. They should be able to give you 2 or 3 people that you can call that have already used you, because if you do a good job on someone's roof, they're happy. You know what I mean? And if they can't give you 2 or 3 people to call and ask about it personally, then that's kind of a red flag for me too. Check out their Google reviews.
But I have a thing about Google reviews. Okay. I mean, I see it happening. People call me, someone doesn't like the competition, so they give them a 1 star. Mm-hmm. And then the business owners are calling up all their friends and family and saying, oh my God, you got to offset this and give me a 5 star. I mean, that happens too. Yeah. So I personally am not a big, Devin, a Google review like that that's not going to make or break my decision. I would rather look at other avenues and talk to people and find out where they're advertising. That is a big thing. Like, where are you advertising? Are you advertising with a trusted business owner?
Right. They could look at the Stroll Harbor Bluffs or the Be Local magazines.
Yeah. Yep. But I'm just saying, like Google review, it just cracks me up because there's so many times that people have been calling me and asking me that. Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So I have to get back to something that Ed and I was talking about, that dyeing of Easter eggs. So we're going to go off on we went from roofing to dyeing Easter eggs, because I said that, he's passing the microphone. I said, because this is the year that I might take over eggs and the dye kit to my brother's house for the first time in, oh my God, well, I'm not going to say how many years, but that we've dyed eggs. I still haven't really talked him into it, but I'm going to try to. Vinegar, yes. All right, you must have dyed Easter eggs. Did you dye Easter eggs?
I haven't dyed Easter eggs in a long time.
Are you going to do it this year?
Probably not this year.
Oh, my goodness.
Maybe next year when I have the baby.
All right, so what would be Scrooge in Easter? What would that be? Bad Bunny? Something? Bad Bunny? Okay. Jeez, Ed. I thought, sure, with all these baby daddies here, we'd have an answer to us, vinegar or no vinegar. I'm going to go with yes.
Yeah, I think the last time I dyed Easter eggs was shortly before I moved down here, when I was still close to my family. And it was probably 6 years ago, maybe 7. And I remember it smelled like vinegar, that's for sure. I don't know if it was
that's
actually,
what my brother's saying.
It sure smelled like vinegar.
Wait till their kids go to school and learn about dyeing eggs. That's when it's going to hit.
Okay, but still, I don't know. And I read something about shaving cream and food color to get the marbled texture. We weren't that fancy. We didn't use shaving cream and that kind of stuff.
We just dipped it and that was it.
Yeah, we did too. But we had wax that we used to color on the wax and then dip it again in a different color and stuff. It wasn't just one colored eggs. It was like designs, and you'd write your name on it. And
we would use white Crayola crayons. Yeah, the white. So it didn't show up on the egg, but that part of it wouldn't get dye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember taking an art class, and there was different effects, especially if you're using like watercolors and dyes. As you can throw salt on there, and it'll have a different effect. Or you can do what is that? The saran wrap, the plastic wrap. You kind of scrunch it up, and then when it dries, you peel it off, and it gives it like that cracked look.
Oh, okay. I'm going to take that. See? Okay, thank you. I knew someone in this room would know about dyeing eggs. All right, so we're talking to Chris, Roof Source Inc. How does someone get in contact with you?
Me personally, I actually, because I do a lot of telemarketing and things like that for the last company I work for, I decided I better get an 813 area code because nobody was answering my 651. So my phone number, you can always call. It's 813-440-0480. You can also find us online at www.roofsourceinc.com. There's a simple form you can fill out, send that over, and someone from our office will reach out to you.
Okay, excellent. So we're going to go around the table one more time, and we're going to get to our guests. Again, this is Be Local Buzz with Devin here every Thursday on TAN Talk Radio from 4 to 5. And we always have the best business owners, the people that really know their stuff. Experience is so important. Know their stuff, really care about their clients and the aftercare, care about their team members, other business owners, and the community. So when you have those core values, there's nothing but great things can happen. So we're going to start with Adam, since he was our first guest today. 30-second commercial.
Shout out to my fiance, Amanda. I love you so much. I hope you're listening at home.
Hopefully you know something about Easter egg dyeing.
Yeah, more than I do at least. Yep. So yeah, Adam Berkey, Roof Source Inc. Give us a call. We'll take care of you as best we can. We've got a team with full of knowledge, ready to let you know if you do or don't need any assistance with your home.
Okay, so now it makes me feel like I have to say something. I'd like to do a shout out to my husband, Mark. You are the best Easter bunny. Yes, so I will see you soon. And yeah, I know we're not going to dye Easter eggs. I'm going to do it with Dale. Okay, Lewis, you're on.
All right. So thanks again for having me on the show.
Absolutely.
So I didn't get to say that at the beginning. I kind of jumped into things. Shout out to my wife and my family out there for the support.
I love it.
But yeah, I mean, if you haven't had a checkup for your house in a while, just give me a call. I'd be happy to come out there and take a look at it and see what's going on.
And the phone number?
732-207-0799. That's a Jersey number.
And it's been so fabulous having you guys on the show. Chris, one more time. All right. He's checking his text. Did she go into labor?
No, not yet.
Okay. I just wanted to
shout out
check
to my beautiful girlfriend, Destiny.
Aww.
I love you. And once again, our main office number, since we haven't given you that yet, is 813-374-0516. You give that number a call, you will reach Hannah at the desk, and she almost always answers her phone. So one more thing I just wanted to touch on after hurricane season. Some insurance companies are good. Some insurance companies are not so good. I know myself, I've handled probably 200 claims, and I think Adam's handled even more than that. So if you ever need any help navigating the insurance process, if you have any questions about that, if you want somebody out there on your roof to represent you when the adjuster comes out, we do that also.
Awesome. All right, Ed, your turn. Do you want to say I love you to anyone? It seems to be the pattern today.
No.
Okay. One of those days, huh? Gotcha. All right. Again, a shout out. If you're looking for something to do this weekend, I know it's Easter weekend. Happy Easter, everyone. But Central Park Performing Arts Center is the venue that is the best hidden gem, right? You guys have been there. Yep. Place is amazing. And they have great shows and Broadway plays and comedians. Go on their website, centralparkperformingartscenter.com, and go check out. And like I said, if you want to go see Kinky Boots, it's there May 2nd through the 11th. A bunch of us are going to go on May 10th, so get your tickets. And I'm going to say happy Easter, everyone. Have a fun time. Hopefully everyone gets their peanut butter cups. Oh, I got to do a shout out to Village Inn. Village Inn has peanut butter pies and all the pies. So if you want to surprise someone for Easter dinner, get yourself over to Village Inn, because Danny and CJ, I will be getting my peanut butter pie tomorrow. So everyone have a great weekend. I will talk to you next Thursday on Be Local Buzz with Devin on TAN Talk Radio. Thank you.
Thank you.